Tonight, it's a different time, but it remains the ultimate test of man versus machine.
You're now a winner of the Indianapolis 500, my friend.
Kanan has already conquered it once. Can TK tackle the new generation to taste the milk again? What's Indy without an Andretti? Missing John more than ever. How his legacy is being carried on.
Side by side, Sullivan has the lead.
And 35 years since an iconic moment.
Just at that moment, losing control of the car.
Looking back at Danny's day, picture perfect in more ways than one. It all builds towards racing's greatest spectacle tonight on WRTV Trackside.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV Trackside, streaming now.
Well, sign of the times. Yes, that little guy on top of the Borg-Warner Trophy, the most famous silver man in motorsports, also wearing a mask. First put on by our driver analyst, Tony Kanan. More on that in just a bit. Good evening to you. Welcome live to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm Dave First. Brad Brown will be along in just a matter of moments. Another WRTV Trackside special. Missing fans now more than ever. Getting ready for a busy weekend here between the crew guys and the drivers. Carb day tomorrow. Final 2-hour practice. The race comes up, of course, on Sunday. Tony Kanan, last 12 years as our driver analyst, approaching his 19th Indy 500. There was talk about this might be his last lap, and he might be folding it up after this year. Well, one of the many topics we discussed earlier. Tony, I'm sure you can see this. I'm sporting your T-shirt. I don't do this. Awesome. I don't do this for anyone, you know.
Well, for the price you charge me, one Zoom call for $5,000.
Right.
It was actually worth it.
IndyLegendShirts.com. There might be a restock in the future, so these are the coolest.
We sold out, so we were waiting for the next batch to people to order, and we'll make some more.
Well, we just did it. We just did it right there.
Here we go.
Here we go. Hey, I mean, this is just so bizarre, right? This whole year, this TK last lap, no fans. Unfortunately, we've seen some at various venues, but it's just not the same. What is your biggest takeaway so far this year?
Look, obviously, when we announced the last lap, you remember how much I emphasized that this was going to be a year for me to enjoy with the fans. We were going to do so many things at the fan zone, extra autograph sessions. We had extra memorabilia to give away, hats, shirts. The decision that I made was actually quite big, right? We announced everything, and with not just professionally, but with my family, and we're all getting ready to do other things. We both had projects together that we had plans to do, and everything, pretty much everything. So with that, I didn't know what to do, if I was gonna do it again or not after, the pandemic, and then going to the Speedway this month and just experiencing the no fan experience, I just don't feel right. So I decided that I want to try to go back for the 500 one more time, just because I can't go away like this. This cannot be my last Indy 500 with not a single fan. The fans are the ones that made TK and this place, that made me. And so I'm going to try, but it's easy said than done.
Right.
When I announced the team and my sponsors, everybody had a different, they had a different agenda. They made other decisions. So right now, it's just really my idea. So we'll see if we can put it together.
Even race week leading up to the 500 is different. A lot of things have been canceled, but you had a very special opportunity on Wednesday to spend some time with the Borg-Warner Trophy on a fun little photo shoot. What do you do when you see the Borg-Warner Trophy for the first time in a while? Do you go right to your images?
You just realize more and more is a confirmation how big of an achievement you made to be on that trophy. So I was the guy that got called to put a mask on the trophy, because even the trophy has to wear a mask. It's awesome.
I can only imagine knowing that the greatest trophy on earth has your likeness on it.
Yeah, this is pretty, like I said, David, you don't win the race thinking that's going to be something really cool where, you want to win the race because you want to win the race. But those are the things that, if you look at the faces in that trophy, we said it 1,000 times. It's the history of motor racing, more than 100 years. My name, it's associated with the most successful. I can't even say it because I was gonna swear, but like the good guys, you know what I mean? So
right.
you're a legend, so that's awesome.
Best of luck, buddy. And thanks for
All right, brother.
everything this month, all right? And
Thank you. We're rocking the shirt. You know, we still have Carb Day. I've been trying to keep the fans entertained on social media. I know it's pretty sad times for everybody, but I really hope that they can support us and watch us on Sunday, and hopefully we'll be back to normal next year.
can't wait to talk to you after the race, bud. Best of luck, okay?
See you. Thank you.
Tony Kanaan starts 23rd on Sunday. He's going to have to deal with a bunch of young guns this year. Brad Brown has a story of one of them. Hey, Brad.
A year ago, Santino Ferrucci was one of the new guys here at Indianapolis and earned Rookie of the Year honors. He's back, set to go fast again here at Indy, and that's something he's been doing for a very long time. In a short period of time, Santino Ferrucci has developed some notoriety as one of IndyCar's most aggressive young drivers.
I don't take unnecessary risks, but I will drive around hard, putting the pedal on the floor until, you know, I've had my fair share of moments, but I've been able to catch everything, so I've been very lucky.
But that's not really anything new for Santino.
What you're about to do is drive a go-kart going 60 miles an hour.
12-year-old Santino Ferrucci.
You just steer like a normal car.
At just 12 years old, he was considered a racing prodigy, working his way through the karting ranks. As a teenager, he made his way to Europe, stints in GP3 and Formula 2. A high-profile incident in 2018 saw him fired from that ride.
Everything's so restricted there as well as far as media goes, so you don't really have a voice, you don't have a personality, you know, you're so told what to do. I mean, I came back here and I'm being myself.
But it ultimately opened the door to IndyCar. Ferrucci debuting in 2018 and getting a full-time ride for 2019 with Dale Coyne Racing. It led to a mesmerizing drive through last May's Indy 500. Ferrucci started 23rd but worked his way methodically up to a 7th place finish and Rookie of the Year honors.
It's something in my driving, in my mindset, everything that I do, I get out there and it's just natural. Like I just feel like I can go fast with anything.
Now he's back for a second go at the 500. His full focus on his IndyCar future and counting the days until race day at Indy arrives again.
There's nothing like going out in front of 300,000 people. I've never seen that many people in my life. I've never been to a sporting event that big in my life. The fact that I got to attend it was just another thing. And no, I think ever since we left on Monday, I've been just waiting and waiting. And everything's just been a wait up to that race again.
Ferrucci and the 18 team will start 19th on the inside of row 7 this Sunday. There are 2 rookies starting in the first 3 rows. We'll see if any of those youngsters will be running up front at the end of the day.
Coming up, one of the most popular drivers ever at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, remembered by his son, who's set to follow in his footsteps.
Sullivan has the lead.
And later,
Oh, Kentucky! And just at that moment, losing control of the car.
35 years after one of the most iconic moments in 500 history, when this Trackside 6 special continues.
What a moment last Sunday. And I have a feeling this place would have gone nuts if fans were in the stands. Marco Andretti with his first Indy 500 pole. First Andretti since Mario back in 1987. 4-lap average, 231 miles an hour. Will lead the second fastest field in 500 history to the green flag on Sunday. One of the many memories stirred on Sunday was that of John Andretti, Marco's uncle. Started 12 Indy 500s. Last January lost his battle with colon cancer. Remembered by his son Jarrett tonight. Family, friends, and giving back. It's not hard to find a memory or two of John Andretti, from his Stinger project on display at the airport to the Check It for Andretti colonoscopy stickers on Michael Andretti's cars, whether it's Alexander Rossi or Ryan Hunter-Reay, to Marco Andretti's helmet displaying Uncle John's old font logo. John's son Jarrett sees it all as well. I would assume over the last couple of years, you and your dad would talk a lot about the 500 as it was approaching.
Yeah, we watched, I was there last year, and obviously we were a little bit disappointed when Alexander wasn't able to win. Obviously, he drove as hard as he could.
Yeah, they're due, obviously, too, this year. So,
I think Dad's going to be helping him as much as he can.
Jarrett's career is just as fast-paced. You might see him on a dirt track one week or in a sports car the next.
What do you miss about your dad?
I mean, I honestly just miss talking to him.
John and Jarrett had big dreams, wanting to be teammates again in sports car racing, the way they did at the Rolex 24 in 2012. But time was becoming an issue.
There was times I was testing a sports car once in the winter of 2018 for a good buddy of ours named David Tilton. And he was trying to move his port while we were at the racetrack. And he was like, I think I can move it, and then I can get the belt on right here. And he goes, I don't think your mom would like that. I said, look, I'm not going to tell my mom. I'm not going to tell anybody if you get in that race car and drive it. He wanted to drive so bad, and that was the pinnacle for him, is just driving. And so we would have loved to have been teammates.
John's battle came to an end in January. The funeral in town was held on a cold, rainy day, one that didn't end until the procession happened to turn a lap at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It was about memories for Jarrett.
I remember rolling into Speedway the first time with him. I was in like in 8th grade. Every other time he got in, he drove. But he was like, this was a big deal, and that to me really stuck out to me.
Slow and poignant, with the scoring pylon lit up, all arranged by Speedway president Doug Bowles.
It was funny because Doug asked me, I said, would you like to get out and kiss the bricks? And this was probably 3 or 4 hours after Dad had actually passed, and I was on the phone, and I could hear Dad goes, no, only winners get to kiss the bricks. I could hear him, and I said, nope. I said, nope, Doug. Dad would have not won, he wouldn't want anybody to get out. And I think the place that meant the most to him was only fitting for him to take the final lap at. And the rain and all the other things that go along with it, just made it, that much more maybe somber.
It's a career that took him from sprint cars to kart.
And the Gold Coast IndyCar Grand Prix goes to John Andretti.
From Cup to a cause. Here's the thing, you haven't heard the last of John Andretti.
Race for Riley rolls on, and your dad would have it no other way, right?
No.
Jarrett is carrying on John's work at Riley, his hospital visits, his karting event now approaching year 24, and of everything he's done, perhaps this is what means the most.
Just the amount of people that after Dad passed, the amount of Riley kids that reach out sometimes weekly to me. And, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? How can I pray for you? And it's like, how can I pray for you? Like, it's like one of those things that they're so caring.
Jarrett's goal is to help Race for Riley climb over the $5 million mark. There's little doubt that racing's loss has been real this year, but a lasting tribute to a true champion is even more so.
It's quite a legacy when you think about it,
Yes. And everybody's volunteered, and they're all dedicated to making this thing grow and continuing it for the years to come.
John Andretti, like an uncle to Marco. I tell you what, the next Race for Riley is already set late September. Anyone who has ever been involved cannot wait. Back after this.
Still to come.
Sullivan has the lead.
Call it a ride of a lifetime.
Just at that moment, losing control of the car.
Catching up with Indy legend Danny Sullivan on a special Throwback Thursday. And later, the circumstances are unique. But once the drivers strap in, it's still about the greatest spectacle in racing. A look ahead to race day, next on RTV 6.
Well, the Speedway looking good this month. Fresh coat of paint by Roger Penske, who simply cannot wait to see fans back at the Brickyard, perhaps later this fall, if not next year's Indy 500. RP, of course, has 18 Indianapolis 500 wins. One of them came back in 1985. Danny Sullivan's spin and win Danny's celebrating 35 years. Where is the time gone? And oh, by the way, celebrating was in style out in Pebble Beach. Pebble Beach, the picturesque home to wildlife, world-class golf courses, not to mention a world-class driver.
Where do you think you would be, Danny, without racing? Without maybe the Indianapolis 500?
Oh, who knows?
Maybe not here.
I probably wouldn't be in Pebble Beach. I probably wouldn't.
He and his wife Brenda's beautiful and spacious home decorated with art, artifacts, and a few 500-mile trophies.
I love the fact this was a wind tunnel test model.
What a great way to show off is what you drove is have a model.
In fact, growing up, Danny's life took him to modeling a few times.
You look at posters like this, there's a sex symbol quality to it.
I went to some famous photographer in Chicago. It was like, okay, what are we going to shoot? And they had me dressed the way they wanted me to dress, and I was sitting there, and there was some production assistant or something over there, a real fox, and I was sitting over there just staring at her, and the guy goes, "That's it, don't move." And he goes, click, 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 about 8 shots. He said, "We're done."
Everybody wins.
There's his countless TV and movie appearances, including a guest slot on the hit show Miami Vice. And then there's the magazine cover.
Were you really on the cover of Playgirl?
Yeah, with Catherine Bach.
I mean, if you think about it, you've done a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, what can I say? I'm not going to deny it.
I mean,
you know what? It's just people. You know, I like to meet people.
What do you call this?
This is the Wall of Shame.
And the wall is all about people.
Prince Albert of Monaco in the pits and after the race at Indy.
The legendary Don Johnson,
Chris Everett. Legendary Andy Mill, Olympic skier. You look up here, Sterling Moss and Dan Gurney and Sir Jack Brabham and Phil Hill, Juan Manuel Fangio, AJ, Big Al, Rick Mears.
What exactly is Rick trying to say in this photo with you back in the background here?
I think he was probably saying bullshit.
And to think none of this may have happened until a family friend and his mentor, Dr. Frank Faulkner, made a deal with the Louisville native while Danny was driving cabs and waiting tables in New York City.
He met me there in New York at my parents' request because they didn't want to be seen to be looking for me. And he had the connections in racing, so for my 21st birthday, he sent me to the Jim Russell School in England with the caveat that if Jim Russell said, he's got talent, you know, that I could pursue a career. But the first time I sat down in that car, it was everything I ever wanted to do in life.
And he's on the run.
It took Danny another decade before he made it to Indy as a driver, although he'd been there before.
Well, my first trip was actually in '69, and I was one of the crazies in the infield. They were burning a bus over in the pit, and, you know, man, this is, you know.
But did you ever think someday I'm going to be on that track?
Well, I thought when I saw the cars go by, because we were over in turn 1, and there was a gap, and I saw those things go by, and I thought, wow, that is cool.
Mario Andretti won back in 1969 and would play a big factor in Danny's third 500 16 years later.
The term spin and win has followed you wherever you've gone.
Right.
Does it ever get old?
No, not at all.
It came to a head on lap 120.
I thought it was the miscommunication. I thought it was later in the race. I thought there was only about 20 laps to go, and it was about 80. So I thought, well, I better pass this guy soon because he's tough anytime.
Sullivan going down low.
So here came Danny, taking turn 1 just inside of Mario.
But when I made the pass, just, you know, the apron was down there in the old days, and, you know, remember they used to always paint the white lines every day and stuff like that. And remember the stagger on those things was, you know, those were bias ply tires back then. And it just tripped it, just enough. Well, maybe I can catch this. Wrong. You know, it was 210 miles an hour. Wrong.
Side by side, Sullivan has the lead. Danny Sullivan, Kentucky, and just at that moment, losing control of the car, doing a magnificent.
And remarkably, Danny's day wasn't done.
I've got my foot on the brake, and the car spins around. I'm thinking, okay, contact. And smoke cleared, there's a turn 2 sweeps. And I thought, well, take your foot off the brake, dummy, let's go.
Sullivan retook the lead 20 laps later, led 67 of the 200.
The Indianapolis 500.
Winning the race. You see the checkered flag. You're going to victory circle.
I was really worried about the victory circle. You know why? Remember, you used to have to go up those 2 damn deals. And I thought,
little ramps,
yeah.
yeah.
I thought, well, what if I screw this up and drive it off the ramp? That would look like.
Danny, you think too much. You think too much.
I know, but it was really, those things don't have a great turning ratio with the locker and everything.
Right.
Anyway, they were going to prevent you from screwing it up.
And this is it here.
This is it. Now,
His Borg Warner plaque has its own wall in the home.
What does it mean to you to have such a large part of history at a great facility that's been there for 100 years?
Needless to say, it's fabulous. The trophy tells something, and obviously the spin tells something, but that tells a story about what Indy really is. You think about that. That's just one section of how long of a grandstand or miles of grandstand and how big of an event the Indianapolis 500 truly is.
The fact is, everything is picturesque in Pebble Beach. Danny Sullivan's career is every bit as good as the view.
Racing was good to me, and it was a hard fight and a struggle sometimes, but the people you meet through racing and the experiences and the places I've gotten to go and travel to and the doors that have been opened, unbelievable. But the biggest, the cornerstone is the Indy 500.
35 years ago, hard to believe. Race day coverage right here on WRTV Trackside. We got you covered on Sunday.
We're taking it online, Dave. Sunday morning at 9 a.m. We'll be inside and outside the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Rafael Sanchez will join us for our coverage. We'll have driver interviews, and we'll count it down to the 104th running of the Indy 500 on WRTV.com.
All right, we got 10 seconds. Who you like on Sunday?
I like 2 stories. Scott Dixon up front. They've been great all season. Graham Ray Hall. Maybe getting it done.
I think Dixon's got this covered. He's got the best car in the paddock area. We shall see. For Brad Brown, I'm Dave First. Enjoy the race and race day weekend.